So now we're going to dive in and talk a little bit about our sport of the month for September, which is football. Your students may have heard of football before, they may have seen a game. It's a pretty well-known sport, so they should be pretty excited to play. I'm going to talk really quickly just about the equipment. So with your footballs, they come in all different sizes, and some of our STAR students are as young as 3 years old. Some are as old as 6, and hand sizes are different, and we want them to be as comfortable as they can be with their footballs. So you'll see this one big enough just for me. It would be really hard for a 3-year-old to hold. You may want to work closely with your area leader or owner just to make sure that your equipment is appropriate for the classes that you're teaching. So we're going to go ahead and dive in and talk about the skills of the month for September. You're going to teach your students 3 different skills about football. So you're going to be teaching them how to throw, how to catch, and you'll also be teaching them about eye-hand coordination. Before you jump into those, it's important to teach them how to properly hold a football. So show them where the laces of the football are and tell them that they're going to be placing their fingertips right on top of those laces and wrapping their thumb around. I like to tell my students that they're going to pretend that they're going to play the piano. So here's the keys of the piano, and they're going to just place their fingertips right there. You'll also want to let them know that they're going to want to throw or hold the football with their favorite hand, or whatever hand they like to draw with. They might not yet know right from left, so it's better to actually just ask what their favorite hand is. So then we'll move on to teaching them how to throw the football, and we want to talk to them a little bit about aiming. So in order to aim our football, we want to look where we want our ball to go. And they're going to do 2 things before they throw that football. They're going to point in the direction they want the ball to go and take a step. So we're going to talk to them about pointing, stepping, throwing. It's a lot to think about, especially for our younger stars. So another idea that you can do is you can always put a sticker or a piece of painter's tape on the foot that they're going to step with, and that way they actually just have a visual, and you can walk them through it nice and slow. Okay, point, they can look down and see which foot to step with, and then they can throw that football. Moving on to the second skill of the month for September, we have catching. And catching a football can be a little tricky. It's a weird shape, it's heavy, it may come at you fast. So with younger students, I like to encourage our instructors to just start with a simple scarf. They come down nice and slow, and it's easier for them to think about looking and opening their hands and catching. You can also use bean bags or just small soft balls, and then for older students, footballs. You also may want to just toss the football to your students rather than having them toss to each other at first, just to get them a little better acquainted with what they need to do in order to catch that football. Always tell them to keep their eye on the ball. Use examples and non-examples. You can say, is Miss Brittany going to look at the ball when I catch, or is Miss Brittany going to look at the ceiling? Give them a moment to answer. And it kind of just keeps them engaged. If you can get them engaged mentally and physically, they're going to grasp that skill that much faster. The third skill that you'll be teaching is eye-hand coordination, and that really is used in almost every sport. So just talk to them, ask them to point to their eyes, point to their hands, and tell them that we use our eyes and our hands together to catch things, to toss things, to do many different activities in all of our sports classes. So have a great month of September playing football and teaching our young stars, and I'll see you next month.